All right, so we are going to be getting another golden companion spirit, and we are going to be having two new additions, that being Huohuo and that being Robin. And we're going to go over their kits and E1s to have a full understanding as to how good these characters are, where they fit, and whether or not you should be getting a new copy or if you should be getting like an E1, E2 kind of thing. I've already made a video about this quite some time ago, but that was before we knew anything about what Huohuo's buffs would be doing. So I think it's a little more, important to be going over this now because we do know what she does buffed wise. So I do have their kits pulled up over here, and we'll go ahead and go over Robin's. So Robin is essentially a follow-up supporting character. That's mainly where she kind of falls under in a follow-up attack team, which honestly, in comparison to like a remembrance team, elation, dot, break, hyper carry, she kind of falls a little bit behind because of the fact that the follow-up team isn't really that strong. She's really good though, and she could technically, I guess, be used in a main DPS team with Anaxa, but honestly it's not really 100% worth it. So her primary purpose is the ultimate. The talent is really good. Increasing everybody's crit damage by a flat 20% is amazing. That's really good. But her main premise comes with the ultimate, being able to increase everybody's attack by a decent amount, plus 200 of her own attack, advance action forward everybody, which is fantastic. She's also going to be immune to crowd control debuffs, and it's pretty much it, honestly. And then it also comes with her trace, is that when you have the Concerto state active, the crit damage dealt by all allies launched follow-up attacks is going to be increased by 25%, and she gains additional energy from when people use actions. So that's essentially what she does. Obviously, if you use her in a hyper carry team, she's not going to be as good because of the fact that you are going to be lacking this additional 25% crit damage. But essentially, that's what she does, right? Huohuo is a character who, honestly, I'm not 100% sure why she got buffed, because she was already really good and a contender for one of the better supporting characters in the game in terms of healing and all that. But yeah, her buff right here, go ahead and look at her skill, and then we'll look at her talent, because you can see here that is essentially actually mainly her talent. I take that back. We'll look at the talent. So once you use her skill or ultimate, you're going to be gaining divine provisions lasting for 3 turns. It's going to decrease by 1 turn at the every time Huohuo takes action. When she has divine provision, at the start of an ally's target's turn or when they use their ultimate, restore HP for that ally and the ally with the lowest HP percent for an amount equal to 4.5% of her own max HP plus 120, then restores HP for every ally with a current HP percent at or below 50%, equal to 4.5. So she is a healing character. Very good. Now moving over to her traces. Again, we have some changes, the trace 1 and trace 2. So at the start of the battle, she's going to gain 30 energy and divine provision for 2 turns. Very good. Having energy is good because her ultimate is very nice, being able to, as you can see right here, regenerate energy for everybody and increase their attack. Now, moving over to her trace 2 is that she is going to have a chance, or boost her chance to resist crowd control debuffs by 35%. Very good. When using the ultimate, here is the change, is that when you use an ultimate, if an ally's target energy is 160 or higher, additionally increase their attack by 24%. So very good, being able to boost someone's attack who needs more energy. Someone I can think of right now that's going to be coming out is going to be Evanesia. Boosting her attack is nice. This would have been really good if it was Silver Wolf who was scaling off of attack, but that's still, obviously that's different now. Now, moving over to their Eidolons, and we have obviously changes for Huohuo, but we'll go over Robin. So E1 is that when she is in her Concerto state, all allies gain 24 res pen. That's very strong, but that's all it does. E2 is a little better, is that Additionally, compared to the res pen, everybody on your team is going to be getting 16 energy, and the talent's energy regeneration effect increases by 1. The talent energy's regeneration. Right. Jumping back over here to skill. You're going to be gaining 3 energy for herself. It's not the greatest, but it takes into effect a follow-up attack. So it snowballs in and of itself. Being able to get your ultimate up as much as possible, that is essentially where she functions at her best. Now, moving over to Huohuo, is the duration of Divine Provision is going to be increased by 1. And then when Huohuo possesses Divine Provision, her outgoing healing increases by 20%. All ally speed increases by 12%. That's extremely good. So you look at someone like Silver Wolf level 9s, right? Who really wants high speed. Well, guess what? She's providing at E1 an additional 12% speed when she possesses the Divine Provision. It's extremely good. E2. When she has Divine Provision, when an ally target is struck by a killing blow, the ally will not be knocked down and their HP will be immediately restored by an amount equal to 50% of her own max HP. It can be triggered twice per battle. Ow. I'm not sure if that stacks with like if you own Casterus, if you can get up to 3 total like revives. I'm not 100% sure on that. It's going to be very interesting to test. So in terms of value wise, we'll go from, you know, E0, E1, E2, right? If you are somebody who likes follow-up attack teams, first of all, I don't know why you would, but Robin obviously would be really good to get a first copy of. If you don't, and if you prefer like quote unquote meta teams, then Huohuo is the better option. Just E0. Now E1. So right here again, outgoing healing is going to be increased by 20%. Everybody's going to have a 12% speed increase when she has Divine Provision. Robin, a flat 24% res pen increase for your Concerto state. E1 in comparison to both, for characters who prioritize speed, I think Huohuo would be better. Robin, I think, is very, very, very slightly behind Huohuo when it comes to E1s. E2, I do think Robin's is actually probably a little better, simply because of the fact that, again, correct me if I'm wrong, right? But it just seems a little redundant, especially if you have someone like Casterus. Why would you really care about the knockdown and then reviving? Unless obviously it does stack so you can get a total of 3. But if it doesn't and you can just get one of the 2, I mean, having 2 revives is really nice. But if you are getting to that state, honestly, you probably should be focusing more on your character builds. So I think E2 wise, Robin actually edges out, being able to provide an additional speed increase, which is actually more than what Huohuo provides, but also being able to regenerate more energy, I think, is very valuable. So again, going back over E0 in general, Huohuo is better. Same with E1. E2, I think Robin edges out barely over Huohuo. It's just a little more of a caveat when it comes to the E2 and the downstate with Casterus, honestly.